actually post my deals every month on my Facebook. I don't know why it's not normalized to talk about profits. We're in this business to learn, especially like people listening to the podcast. Don't you want to know what people are making? Like, if I'm going to follow and listen to Santini, is he actually making money? Do that to show people like we're actually doing deals. Like, because there's people in our market saying they're doing deals, and they're actually taking leads or roping wholesalers or agents into sending them their leads. I'm like, man, like we're doing deals here. We're not gonna play around.
Hey everybody, thank you for joining us for today's episode of Disruptors. Today we have Santini Lancioni with Hall of Fame Real Estate. And Santini flew in from South Jersey. Talk about he doubled his profits from 3 mil to 6.5 in 2024. Now guys, I'm on a mission to create 100 millionaires. The information on this show alone is enough to help you become a millionaire if you'll take consistent action. So, and guys, if you get value out of this show, please hit that subscribe button. Give us a 5-star review. That way we can help more people. You ready?
I am.
All right. So let's talk about what your life like right before you got into real estate.
All right. So my professional life before real estate, I graduated from Stockton University. It's like right near Atlantic City. And I went right into business to business sales. So worked for a big office supply company, and right out the gate had success. Mm-hmm. And did that. I was there for 7 years, but in the first like 3 or 4 years, I started making really good money, making around $250,000, $300,000 a year.
That's pretty good.
You know, it was life-changing, honestly. Yeah. And, you know, my mom didn't graduate from college. She barely graduated from high school. So I didn't really have anyone to like teach me about finances and where to put my money. And real estate kind of popped up. You know, a lot of my friends were in the mortgage business or realtors, and it just piqued my interest. Mm-hmm. And then just out of nowhere, my warehouse manager, he was like, I have 6 rentals paid off. He's like, and it was all in Kensington, Philadelphia. It's a really rough neighborhood. But he was
he's a warehouse manager.
Warehouse manager. But I'm like, this guy's never stressed out. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
He has a good life. And, you know, one day he's like, I'll take you with me on the weekend. We'll go to the auction, and then I'll help you. You know, I'll show you how I pick up the rent or whatever. Just you can see the day in the life. So I did that.
That's pretty cool.
Really,
that someone was willing to do that.
Oh, it was cool, really cool. Yeah. And I'm grateful. You know, I still talk to him to this day. But yeah, from that point on, I was like, I got to learn more. Mm-hmm. And Bigger Pockets was a podcast. Every single day, I would go to the gym, mm-hmm. and I would just listen to one of their podcasts. And I was like going through their archives.
Yeah.
And
when was this?
This was like 2016.
2016. Okay.
Yeah. And then I started like, you know, getting the tricks of how to find a deal, how to house hack. Mm-hmm. So I found a property, a triplex in South Jersey. Yeah. And that was my first rental property.
Right.
I put like $50,000 or $60,000 into it, put like 15 grand down, and it just started cash flowing right away.
Did you live in that one?
I didn't live in there.
Right.
You know, I should have technically. It was FHA, but
well, I was just saying you were house hacking, so
yeah.
Okay.
Never technically moved into that, but it was cash flowing $1,800, and at that point, I'm like, how do I keep scaling this? Like, I need to find a bank that can get me my money back, because I can't just afford to put $70,000, $80,000 into these properties. It's just not going to work.
Right.
It's going to take too long. So I found a bank, Vizio Lending, out of like Texas. Like I was just calling around. I literally ran it. They're like, yeah, we'll refi you out in 30 days or 90 days.
Yeah.
And I raised some money from a couple friends. I said, listen, I'll get you your money back. You know, you'll make some money. And I did 2 more. I had proof of concept. And then it went nuts after that. I was like, I think I went from like 2 to like 30 in like a year. And the power of that was the refinance. Mm-hmm. So I was buying a house for 40, putting 70 into it, and then it would appraise at 200. So I was making an extra like 30, 40,000 tax-free while keeping this asset that's, you know, cash flowing. Mm-hmm. And at that point, I'm like, man, this is like, there's no end to this. Like they told me I can, you know, have as many mortgages as I want. It doesn't hit my credit. And, you know, I could pick up any house I want. Mm-hmm. So I think we got up to like 160 rentals, you know, but within that time frame, I did end up leaving my job. It was like 30 doors, and I said, I'm out of here because I was making so much money on the refinances.
You exceeded the 250 you were making.
Yes. Yeah. There was one where I made like 80 grand extra. I'm like, I have to get out of my job. Like, this is crazy. And I don't have to pay taxes on it.
Right.
But you know, that's not the best advice. I wouldn't advise anyone to do that because yeah, I mean, you're over leveraging yourself. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's kind of good to have equity in your properties.
Right.
But at the time it was more of like active income almost. But when the pandemic hit, that's when all that stopped, right? Inventory shrunk, interest rates went up, DSCR loans went from like 75% to 65%. So that 10% swing was crucial.
Massive, yeah.
Yeah, massive. And they just weren't cash flowing anymore.
So before we continue,
yeah,
not everyone knows what DSCR is.
Yeah, so I guess it's like a private debt service coverage ratio loan that like private institutional banks will give you guys. But
right. But what's the ratio?
Right now, I think it's 75%.
But like, explain what the ratio means.
So the ratio is it has to make 1.2 is the typical ratio I see. So 20% over your mortgage amount. So if your mortgage is $1,000, they'll let you borrow up to whatever the leverage is, 20% over that. So
so $1,200. So
$1,200 has to make.
Yeah. So if the rent is $1,200, they'll let you borrow $1,000, something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But that blew up my business, and
so it broke the business model.
Yeah,
it broke the business model for a lot of Burr people.
Yep.
Right. I think across the country.
Yeah.
Like Burr was like the hottest thing for like 5 years.
Yep.
And then that changed.
And bigger pockets probably was a big reason, for that.
Huge reason for it.
Yeah.
Huge. I mean, the people that were asking me about it, it's like, hey, I'm listening to this thing of bigger pockets. Do you know anything about Burrs? Like, what is this? Right. So yeah, I think they were the ones that were really pushing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So after that, when all that hit, I built up my construction team. I've learned property management. I learned what not to do. So there was a lot of good things that came out of that, but I probably lost like $300,000-$400,000 in that like 6-month period where like the whole world stopped.
How did you lose $400,000?
Because I couldn't refinance my money. I had like 10 houses just sitting there.
So like you took money that you borrowed from friends and family that were just stuck in the properties.
Yep. And it just like I was just paying interest only debt.
Got it.
And then all my tenants kind of froze because they heard that they didn't have to pay rent anymore. You couldn't evict them. So like I'm like walking on eggshells. So I would say about half of my portfolio stopped paying at the same time.
Okay.
Luckily, the lenders were giving us, the forbearances and all that. So we kind of mirrored it.
Would you say that was like the most stressful period?
Oh, by far. It was. I got to a point where I maxed out all my credit cards, and I was just waiting for like the banks to say you can start refinancing again.
Yeah.
So it was a wake up call. Don't over leverage yourself.
What if they didn't?
If they didn't, I would have to raise more money. Or I mean, I'm a guy that would just figure it out. I feel like, but I would have to raise more capital from somewhere because I feel like the assets were good and we renovated them. They were new. We also could have listed them and sold them if we really needed to.
Yeah.
Okay. That was the last thing.
So your back wasn't completely against the wall, but it was pretty bad.
No, and that's where I brought in a partner too. So at that point, I brought in someone that he brought in like a couple $100,000, but he was from money, and I said, "Listen, I'll split the portfolio with you. Just help me clean this whole mess up." And that's what we did.
Yeah.
So
gotcha. Okay, so this is all from 2016. Picked a bunch of properties. Seemed like it wasn't that hard. Like you just it was easy money.
Yeah.
And then you're saying with COVID, but that was really more. So COVID is when it froze. It wasn't 22 because a lot of people got hurt with Burrs in 22. You were saying got hurt earlier.
I got hurt
in Jersey.
The pandemic was when I shifted. So I actually became a business owner during that period versus like just an investor.
Okay.
And that was the turning point for my career.
What did that turnaround look like?
So it went from that was a wake up call, and I said, this isn't a real business. I actually have to build out something that's active income. And that's where the easiest thing to do was to wholesale. I already had this sales background. I already knew how to renovate. I did 160 properties or something like that. So I already knew how to renovate. I knew what I was looking for. I had the contractors. I had the management. So it was just about finding deals. And I feel like those like 3 to 4 years of me buying rentals really gave me such a huge advantage over the market.
Yeah.
I had the confidence to buy houses too. It wasn't like wholesalers are like terrified to buy. And I'm like, oh, I'll buy these. And so I just came into the market like just killing it. I hired one sales guy. We were buying stuff off the MLS like slowly, but we started texting and cold calling. And then we went out to like a mastermind, and we really started learning like systems. And then I started hiring people. So within like that first year, there was a lot of small mistakes I made, but I feel like I expedited it and got to a good point of my business. So,
So it sounds like even that transition was pretty easy for you.
That was easy, yeah.
All right. Now,
Yeah.
so some people might be listening like, man, this guy is like, cocky or arrogant or something, right? So something that, we haven't talked about yet, but basketball's played a big part in your life.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
So how has basketball played a part in your life?
So when I was growing up, we grew up very, I mean, it's relative what you think poor is. For us, it was poor compared to where we lived.
Yeah.
And it was like my outlet, since probably like the 4th grade. My brother was, he's 3 years older than me. He was good growing up. And I always followed him around and, seeing how hard he worked. And, we became obsessed with basketball. And we're like, you know what, we want to go to the NBA or go get scholarship somewhere. So we really bought into that. And, throughout the years, we would, wake up 5 a.m. and shoot 500 shots a day and just really commit to just becoming the best players in our area. And I think that really built that foundation for me because I know how hard it is to, like, I didn't even go Division I, and I worked my ass off as a Division III basketball player. So, like, the amount of work it takes to be great at anything is incredible. Obviously, height and all that stuff plays a factor, but luck isn't always on your side, so you got to work. You got to outwork everybody. Yeah, and it also comes with leadership and a lot of people liking you, being coachable. So all of that really helped me become a good business owner and an entrepreneur.
So you think that all translated from basketball onto your business?
I think so, for sure. There was a lot of work I had to do as a leader with business, but I think it was more like of a natural flow for me because as a point guard, you have to lead people. You have to lead by example. You have to, keep them motivated and encourage them and, obviously find the right pieces and have the right chemistry. So all those things literally translate to our
Tell
businesses.
them where to go, tell them what to do.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to have confidence. You have to believe that things are happening before they do. And
you have to exert and impose your will.
Exactly.
I got 3 kids, and my oldest one, like, she just doesn't want to play sports. Like, she plays volleyball, but she's like, it's fun to play, like, pick up, but she doesn't want to go anymore. And I'm like pushing her, and she's like, I don't want to do it. It's like, she's like, why is it so important? He's like, it actually has nothing to do with sports. I just want you to learn leadership skills.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I want you to learn, like, when you lose, like, you can be introspective and figure out why you lost, and like, let's figure out the lessons here and how you can be a better team player and a leader. Yeah, I'm losing this battle, right? Yeah. But
exactly.
But those are the things that I picked up, right? Like, don't have your experience or your skills and success, but playing a lot of intramural basketball, it's the same thing. It's like, it's my bad. Like, you drive home, it's like, that's the shot I missed. I missed that pass. Why did I turn it over there? Like, that was such a stupid turnover. I can't believe I did that. Like, those are kind of things. I don't know. Yeah. I imagine you had those same things.
Yeah, oh, for sure. You got to learn how to control your temperament and your emotion and be able to live for the next game or the next play. Right. Make sure that your opponents don't see that emotion because they'll attack you, if you're playing defense, whatever. So yeah, there's so many things that just if you work on your, whatever sport you play, if you can work on your emotion, that'll translate over to the pressure that you deal with every day in business.
You're getting your last minute shot to go take your next one. Yep. So your last deal that you lost,
100%.
You're ready to focus on the next deal.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, it was a matter, like, this was the only thing I had growing up, basketball. Like, when I tell you we had nothing, like, this saved our lives because coaches took us in. Like, when I was 15 years old, my mom had severe diabetes. And I remember coming home from school and she was on the couch having a seizure. And she was never the same since. Like, something happened to her mind. And from that point on, I'm like, I moved to my friend's house. Then I moved to another friend's house. And, at that time, I was one of the best players in South Jersey. So, like, if I didn't have basketball, no one would have probably helped me. I would have ended up who knows where. So, and my brother was off to, like, college or prep school at that time. So it was just me. So luckily there was a private school, like one of the best private schools in South Jersey. They basically paid for me to go to their school. And I played basketball there. And that was a game changer because I moved in with this millionaire family. At that time, I'm 15, 16 years old. I never really had discipline growing up. Basketball was what made me disciplined, but there wasn't like parenting going on. Like, I could stay out till midnight. No one would care what I was doing. But when I got to school, it was like I got to see, like, families, how they function. How they had 3 kids and like how they're doing their homework every day and they're getting up early and they're having, there's nutrition.
Saying routine and habits.
Routine, yeah. And then just parenting, and then I go to a private school where there's all, wealthy people. And I'm like, all right, so I got to act like that's how you're supposed to behave. So yeah, that was a great time in my life to grow as a human being, And if it wasn't for the game of basketball, like those doors wouldn't be there.
You wouldn't be exposed to it.
No, at all. And being popular, because obviously you're an athlete, it was a great experience. And then it also got me to college, right? I was terrible at school. Like literally, I barely passed. Had no interest in it.
Yeah.
And same thing in college, I only went to college to play basketball, to literally have a roof over my head and have meals and be able to play. And that's all I cared about. So by the time when basketball was over for me, I had 2 years of school left. And you can imagine, like, this is my identity. So I had to reinvent myself. Still have 2 years of school that I literally hate going to class. And I just buckled down. I'm like, you know what? I have to do this. It's either that or I go to the Army, or who knows? I end up a blackjack dealer in Atlantic City. Real estate I had no clue about real estate at this time. And also by that time too, I had no financial literacy. I had like 6 credit cards, maxed them all out, didn't even pay them. Had hospital bills, didn't even ignored them. So I was in collections.
Yeah.
So no one to guide me really through that time financially. And I was scared to tell people, I just dealt with it. I didn't deal with it actually. So when I graduated college and I remember I was at the park. It was I forget where I was. I was playing basketball, my phone rang. And I was applying to a bunch of jobs, and the HR manager calls me. And she's like, hey, we want to offer you this position. It was a $40,000 a year position. And you would think that someone offered me $1 million. Because I was like, this is another breaking point in my life where I have another opportunity now to make something of my life. So I was just so grateful to take that job selling. I didn't care what I was selling. I was selling office supplies, but I didn't give a shit. I was like, I'm going to make the most. I'm going to be the best at it.
Right.
So that's that gratitude. And that adversity just growing up, I think it all shapes you,
Oh, absolutely shapes you.
It's important.
So then you take this, you transition to wholesaling, texting, cold calling. That seems to be pretty smooth. What bumps in the road did you have in that journey?
So it was more consistency.
Yeah.
Staying focused too. I was trying to build out CRMs. I was trying to hire people. Being careful with my marketing spend. Just having no transparency. With metrics and budgeting,
no transparency or no understanding.
Really, yeah. It was just I'm throwing, just whatever people were saying, I'm doing. Yeah, but I didn't have a plan.
Right.
But I knew I was going to make money somehow. I just all right. All that matters is I get deals to the table and they sell and I can make profit.
Right.
So at first it was survival mode, and then once you get to a point of making $100,000 a month, that's when I'm like, I got to bring in some real players here. So I brought in.
So it was basically just kind of you by yourself at this point.
It was me and 2 sales guys. So I was the one and you ever hear Roar? I used Roar. I was the one that would get I forget where I got the list.
Yeah.
Then I would send it over to some skip tracing company, and then they would send it back. I would have to. So I had to learn all that stuff by myself.
Right.
And I would talk to the sellers, go to appointments, but it was a lot easier. The response rates were higher back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
wouldn't work today.
No, not at all. But our spend was nothing. It was probably a couple $1,000s a month. So making 30, 40 grand a month. Plus I had all these rentals. I mean, it was,
So what was the first major hire to say that you're not playing a game anymore?
It wasn't that I intentionally hired this person. It's that this person changed my business.
Okay.
So one of my sales guys, Sean Siegel, his brother was looking to change his job. And he asked me 3 times. And I was like, I don't know if I'm ready. I could barely handle what I have here. I have 2 guys and all these rentals. So eventually I gave in. I'm like, all right, just come in. I don't just run my marketing. And I don't even have a marketing. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I hired his brother. It was $600 a week. And it was 2 weeks of misery. I had no onboarding, nothing. I'm just, all right, here, run
small business, man.
Yeah, run the texting campaigns. Yeah. And
here's all the logins. Go figure it out.
Yeah, he has no sales experience, nothing, no real estate experience. But after 2, you know what? I took him to Tiffany High's mastermind. That's what it was. We went out to Ohio together. Yeah. I'm like, all right, if you're gonna learn this, I gotta give you a chance. So we flew out to Ohio, and we came back with 100 ideas. Oh man, this thing actually can blow up. And I saw a transformation in him. And this guy, man, he's still with me. He's my number 2, but he blew up my business in that first year because of how tight he made the systems and how he raised the level of expectations from everyone. you know, from the TCs to dispo to sales. Like we actually had to have structure, and he was on top of it. You know, he is the definition of like accountability, and he has low empathy, so he doesn't let people like take advantage of him. Where I'm like the nice guy, I'm trying to keep everyone happy.
Yeah, I get it. It's
he doesn't
fine.
care. Yeah. So it's a great balance, but to fast forward to today, man, he's a killer. Like he's a blessing. You know, you can't get to certain places in business without key people like him.
Yeah. So before you continue, I'm just gonna do a little self plug here.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm looking to hire someone exactly like that, right? I am looking for a person who has no empathy and demands excellence and structure, because that is actually like right now we're looking to hire that exact person. So sorry, you were talking about that. I was like, oh man, that's we just shot that out there. You know, got thousands of people listening and watching. Like, you know, anyone, like that's what we need. All right. Is this the same person I met at the event?
Yep, Jesse.
Jesse, cool. Yeah, I mean, he's a great kid.
Yeah, he's young too. He's like 27 now.
I know, but he is sharp.
Sharp.
He's
committed. He lives and breathes the business with us.
So I love that kid.
It's hard to find. Yeah.
So okay, so you hire him, change the business.
Change the business.
Right, and you weren't even trying to hire him. You just
no, I actually like didn't really feel like hiring him, honestly.
But you hired him, and you could see a transformation in your business
right away. Yep.
What was the big transformation?
It was just there was nothing like no leakage in marketing, leads, communication was fast. Things were just easier. I just felt like I could focus on things that I wanted to do versus all the other stuff. So he had my back. I was like, man, I could actually go out there and get more deals now because he has our operations.
Everything else is covered.
Everything's covered,
and
man.
You have no stress or less stress.
Less. I hate TC stuff, like transactional coordinating. I hate it. So he took that off my plate, and my bandwidth went through the roof.
What's your PI?
I'm a captain now. I was an adventurer.
Okay. I'm pretty close.
I definitely modified, but
they're pretty close, right? Yeah. So for everyone's wonders what we're talking about, right? It's predictive index. So IA, so very independent. Captain, venture, pretty much the same thing, like social and impatient.
Yeah, definitely. Get tired of doing the same thing too much.
Yeah, not do the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So we would suck at TC paperwork. Okay, so now that you've got this person set, do you feel like you had a real business now? Hey, Disruptors, if you're struggling to scale your business due to a lack of capital for your deals, this message is for you. I've been part of the Collective Genius Mastermind for over 4 years now, and one of the biggest benefits I get as a member is access to 100% financing for fix and flips. If you're doing at least 10 deals a year, want to network with top-tier investors from across the country, and need access to 100% financing to continue scaling, go to 100percentmoney.com. I've had my friend and CEO of the Collective Genius, Jason Medley, put together a short video with all the details. That's at 100percentmoney.com.
Somewhat. I'm comfortable. I feel like we have a cushion now.
Okay.
We have potential, and we're starting to learn the business, and that's when I think we went from $500,000 for the first year wholesaling, and then Jesse comes in. We go to like 1.3 or something. Then we go to 2 the following year, and then we go to CG. And Collective Genius opened up our eyes to new marketing channels, new belief system of how this actually can be done, and new exit strategies, innovations, creative finance, all that other stuff. So
that was 2 years ago, 22?
22, yeah. So we were, we were rolling, and then I think like everyone else in 2022, we were scaling. We were in scale mode. Like I didn't really care about making that much money. I wanted to grow the business and do whatever I had to do. And then the market kind of shifted. I don't think as bad as everyone else. A lot of people got clobbered.
Yeah.
I think like if you went down 30% in Phoenix, we probably went down like 15%. Right. Yeah. We didn't lose. I don't think we lost any money in a month, but we broke even like 3 months in a row.
Right.
And I was already prepared for that because we had a lot of presentations at CG. So I started tightening up systems, but
you guys on the East Coast are fortunate.
Yes.
That stuff started on the West Coast.
Because we don't have these hedge funds playing around with our numbers, It's good. It's a gift and a curse because the eviction states it's brutal to have tenants, but again, hedge funds stay away from it.
How long does it take to evict in Jersey?
6 months probably.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I would rather give a tenant $20,000 to leave my property than to evict them. It's brutal.
If it's more than 4 weeks here, I'm pissed.
Oh, really? That'd be a game changer for us.
Yeah, right?
We'd buy everything.
Yeah, the moment you're late, right? Yeah. 5 days you're late, all right, 5-day notice.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, you don't belong here, right? If you challenge it, all right, we'll see you in court. And then, another 3 weeks after that.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then the constable is changing the locks.
Oh man, I wish that we had that case in Jersey, but we don't.
Yeah.
It's definitely a tenant state.
Yeah.
For
Well,
sure.
I think most blue states are very tenant friendly states.
Yeah.
Okay. So the market shifted.
Yep.
How did it impact you guys? I mean, you said there's 3 break evens, but then after that it was just fine.
Well, what it did for us, our business, is we got rid of some people that weren't performing, and we really tightened up. Like we kept the people that wanted to be there, and the output like doubled or tripled. Like everyone knew they had to do more for less, and everyone bought in. So when 2023 hit, the market like took back off again for us. But we were back in we had the scarce mindset that, things might be worse. So everyone performed and we blew up again. Like I think we went to like 3.5 million in profit that year.
Yeah.
So that was a, great feeling.
Yeah.
And
before you continue,
yeah.
I just want everyone that's listening here, like you speak in different languages or different terminology than everyone else.
I know. Right? I gotta simple it and dummy it down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not that. Like social media, you talk about here's how many deals I do a month. Here's how much I have in the pipeline.
Yep.
Here's how much revenue I brought in. You only focus on one number.
Profit.
Right? Profit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's different. Definitely the way to do it.
Yeah, it's all that matters, man.
It's all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But not everyone stands on that number. Everyone else stands on revenue, deals per month, pipeline, whatever. Why are you different?
I know that's what keeps the lights on. That's the real number. We could do 500 million in revenue. Who cares? Like, what are you making? What's that net in your pocket? And that's all I measure. Do
you get any? I want to say pushback is the right word. You get people like looking at you kind of funny, like
where like within my job, like
because you talk about profits, like because you we were gonna get to this later on, but I might as well just bring it up now, right? Like one of you guys' like really good strategies. Jesse spoke on it. Is your meetups?
Yeah.
Right. So you're a bit of a local celebrity, right? And so again, like I don't think anyone here in the Phoenix market that speaks in profits. Can't really think of.
They speak on revenue.
They speak on revenue or deals or whatever.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm just wondering if you, or maybe you don't notice the difference because you've always spoken.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess people, it could be taken the wrong way or not relatable to certain people, but that's how I measure my business, and that's I'm in it all the time. So I guess I don't know. I haven't really thought of anyone else's perspective about that, but it's real. I mean, that's what we.
But like
measure.
you go to masterminds, right? It doesn't matter what mastermind, all masterminds, right?
Yeah,
it's always deals or revenue or this and that, right? People don't flex their P&Ls, or their profits. I remember one year, because I believe in the same thing. I actually posted my P&L in a Facebook group.
Did you?
Right? But it was the numbers were never as big as yours, right? I mean, I showed it. I think it was like 1.2 in revenue, and that includes some of the flips, whatever. And then like it was, I want to say maybe like 340K like profit, something like that.
Yeah.
Right. Like here's my P&L, for my wholesale business, and if you guys want to figure out how to run a business where you can do this, like come check out my workshop. Like that's all it was.
Yeah.
And I had so many comments is like,
they pissed off.
It wasn't pissed off. It was everyone was confused. Like, why would you post your P&L? Yeah. Why would you share profits? Like, no, like I want, like, here are my actual line item expenses.
Yeah. I don't know why it's not normalized to talk about profits. Like, it's almost like we're scared to talk about how much money. We're in this business to learn, especially like people listening to the podcast. Don't you want to know what people are making? Like, if I'm going to follow and listen to Santini, is he actually making money? Like, is he just making a lot of revenue, and is he losing money? It's possible,
Right. So that's one of the hardest things. We had Ryan Weimer here. He was last year, right? Yeah. And we were saying like it's hard, even being in the business, to know who's real and who's not.
Exactly.
Right. It's hard. Like even there's someone. I had a private conversation with someone month and a half ago. I was like, hey, this guy out here, he says he does deals, but the way he talks, it sounds like he doesn't do deals. Like, can you just verify for me? It's like, yeah, like I actually does deals. Yeah. Like, okay, cool. Like I just don't know. Right.
Yeah.
Because
we got to audit people, man. That's it. We got to request a QuickBooks or something.
Well, we have HUDs, right? We require HUDs. So.
That's true, yeah. I actually post my deals every month on my Facebook. I know it's kind of like you could get some negative feedback from that, but I do that to show people like we're actually doing deals. Like, because there's people in our market saying they're doing deals, and they're actually taking leads or roping wholesalers or agents into sending them their leads. I'm like, man, like we're doing deals here. We're not gonna play around. Yeah. So I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's worked.
Well, I could say if I was an investor, I would feel more comfortable investing with you. If I had deals to send, you know, if I was in Jersey, I would feel more comfortable.
Right. And that's my target audience, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, you know, but if you're trying to attract coaching students, perhaps, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Different brand.
Okay. So you are a bit of a local celebrity though.
I don't know. I mean, who knows? But it's
but that's the angle you're going for.
What I measure, if you want to call it a local celebrity, is how many leads am I getting organically from referrals, agents, wholesalers, and it's a lot. I don't think anyone in our market is getting as many. Maybe there's one guy that does, this guy Tim, but that's the power of the local celebrity.
Do we need to destroy him? Like, do we need to?
I actually do deals with him, so he's a good dude. But
all right, so we're not gonna go like coffee or nothing on him. All right,
nah.
Okay.
But,
all right. So I think that's a huge metric. So go through, what are those metrics you track again for organic?
Okay, so with social media and then with our local meetups, right? Our main, there's two goals to this. We want to have influence, which helps us hire, helps us build credibility, and then we want to have lead flow, which you know, the more we're out there, the more people see us, they are going to send us their leads. So we want to keep that very local. The content we put out doesn't necessarily have to be in your face every day doing reels. It's more about just deal flow and then maybe a little bit about us personally. Right. So we measure that through, like I said, referrals, and we track it. Like last month, I got 11 deals outside of our marketing, and that's huge. You know, I think
massive.
We didn't sell all of them yet. We will, or we buy them, but then we sell them. But I think we made $180,000 last month, and that's just 1 month. You know, it's going to be over $1 million easily in referral revenue. From that,
with hardly any expenses,
with no expenses other than maybe social media, but it doesn't cost much.
So 11 deals. So do you have one person whose job is for outreach for this, or how do you get?
It's mostly me.
It's mostly
when I say like what's my role in the business other than like, you know, motivating people, money, and just structuring the company, it's finding deals, and that's mostly my focus. Like I want to put most of my focus into finding deals. And let everything else be managed through our people. Yeah, I just want to generate money for our company.
So is it fair to say you're the relationship guy?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm looking to get someone to help me with that, but it's very sensitive, that role, because you're representing our company, you know?
How do you make sure that you're doing I guess let's describe what are the relationship roles and responsibilities.
So for the relationship manager position,
you do.
For what I do.
To generate organic leads.
So first off, if someone sends you a lead, you got to answer them fast. You got to give them some feedback. And if you like it, buy it. I mean, sometimes I'll buy it and I'm like, shit, I don't even know if this is a good deal, but I want your next deal. And it usually works out. Right. Very rarely do we lose ever. Like I think we're going to sell like 220 deals this year. Yeah. We'll probably lose in like 3 or 4, you know? And that's just recently, like, because we bought a couple bad flips. But yeah, most of the time it works out for us. There's always, we know what people are paying. That's the power of our business model, is that we're so local. I can tell you down to like the street, the town, like I can underwrite a deal faster than anybody. So if like someone from Florida tries to wholesale up there, they can't touch it. Like we're faster, we know the numbers, and we're local and people know us. So it's just a huge competitive advantage.
And we have actually, I've had a couple of people go through our programs, mentorship programs. And their greatest challenge in Jersey was underwriting.
Yeah, it's very hard.
They're like, it's just 2 streets over, and it's a completely different.
You could swing 300 grand in one street, literally. One street. So you got to be careful out in Jersey.
Yeah, so that was their, like, of all the things, it wasn't getting leads, it wasn't sales. It was like, I keep screwing up the underwriting.
And people don't realize there's like a divide in Jersey. So you got South Jersey and then North. North is all attorneys. South, there's not as much. Probably like 80% regular transactions, 20% attorneys. It's hard. Not to mention, there's like 20 CG members in South Jersey.
It seems like there's a lot between Jersey and Philly.
Yes.
Because they're all like always hanging out too.
Yeah. I actually didn't like it at first, but now I'm like, every time they let more people in, I make more money. So I don't know if it's just elevating our like competitive drive and making us tighter and more alert. But yeah, it's making us, I think it's making us better. We can't slack, at all.
So first one was not speed to lead, but speed to response, right?
Yeah.
So you get an opportunity, you got to jump on it.
Got to jump on it. Yep.
What else are your metrics?
Just be easy to, you're talking about for
the relationship person, right? Because 11 deals in a month is nuts.
A lot of it. So the problem with it is not predictable. They're coming from all over the place.
Yeah.
Like this agent may not have another deal for a year.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really say that's a marketing channel, but the more activity you're getting, it just happens.
So what are activities that you do then to drive this?
Really, it's the wholesalers. The wholesalers bring you the most deals, and the good ones that they spend a little bit of money on marketing, just pay them their price.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously you got to get a good deal on it, but that's really the secret. Like I have like 5 or 6 wholesalers that send me deals.
Right. Are you doing anything to nurture those relationships?
Just respond quick and not beat them up on their price too much. I always want them to make money.
Yeah.
I offered to pay for their marketing too. Like there's a lot of things I'm willing to go above and beyond, like buy it with a tenant in there, knowing that it might be, I might lose. You don't want to do that too much, but
no, but you want to be the easy button.
You owe me the next one, basically, if I do this for you. So
what was it? People will do business with you as long as you do one of 3 things. You either make it easy, lucrative, or fun, right? Right. If you're the easy one, or you're the one that they're gonna make the most money, or you guys can have fun together. As long as one of those 3, and if you're all 3, even better. Yeah,
exactly. So think about these wholesalers. They're usually not built out like we are. They're really good usually at finding deals and locking them up, but selling them is a whole different business as well. So you need dispositions. Most of these people, they can't get to that point because they're still worried about marketing. They're still worried about getting deals. That's where they don't want to send them out. They could focus on getting 3-4 times more deals and just sell it to us a little bit. And we're paying, reasonable prices. So I think that's where the sweet spot is for us as far as that relationship manager.
So how many deals are you taking down versus wholesaling?
So right now we're at, I would say 10 deals a month we're buying physically. And then we're wholesaling about 15 to 20 every month.
Okay, so you wholesale more than you flip.
Yep.
But the ones that the wholesalers are sending you deals, right? If you guys in South Jersey, right? Make sure you're adding Santini to your list.
Yeah.
So if you got a deal and they send it to you, are you buying all of them or are you wholesaling those as well?
No, so those we are either flipping because we have a construction team, which we've really dialed in. So we'll probably flip like 70% of those, and then the other 30 we may just relist, like clean it out and relist it. And then some of them we'll say, listen, it's not for us. Do you want us to sell this for you? 9 times out of 10 they say yes, just sell it for us.
Gotcha.
So that's again like a JV.
Yeah,
we'll do.
And then Jesse did a great presentation on your guys' meetup model.
Yeah.
So you want to share what your meetup model is?
Yeah. So we basically, like you said, that local celebrity status. We try to create a very high-end, crazy environment for a meetup. So we want it to be memorable. It also helps our company too, like when we invite, all of our staff, like they feel like, wow, we're a part of something bigger than, anything we've ever seen.
We're not just a house buying company.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I always tell Jan, he runs our events, and I'm like, I want this to be like Disney World. Like you walk in there and like every corner of the place is thought out and planned. So like we've taken it to the level of now getting
a high standard, like
flamethrowers, and we park our trucks out front. So like everything is literally thought out of and planned. And like the next event we have coming up, we have a $38,000 budget. So it's
$38,000 budget for
a local meetup. That's going to last.
We're going to have to call something longer. Like it's not a meetup. $38,000. Like this is might even be.
It's like a wedding.
This is event money. Right? Like I remember I threw an event. I think it was 20-something thousand, right? And this is like an event for people to fly in, whatever.
Oh, wow.
So 38,000. I've never spent that much in an event.
Really?
So
yeah,
this is event set. This is not.
It's one deal for us basically.
Yeah. Okay. So what? When did you guys start doing that?
We started doing that like 3 years ago, and we've seen a lot of success from it. We got a couple hires from it, and I'm like, let's keep doing this because at the very least we get hires. Yeah,
that's huge.
At the very least, and then we get to put face with names with the wholesalers because there's a lot of like independent wholesalers that are trying to do the business, and I will teach them. I'll show them what we do, and I'll fold them in a little bit to our business, and we'll get more lead gen from that way. So if we solely relied on our marketing, we wouldn't be as successful. And that's part of the secret of why we doubled our business this year. Yeah, for sure. Is that the outside organic, those leads that don't cost as much either.
Well, don't cost as much. Yeah. And then you get, how many people are coming? Like 30,000. Like how many people are
We're going to have over 300 people there.
Yeah, that's
and we have to cap it too, because the fire marshal will shut us down, or they'll charge us ridiculous amounts of money.
Yeah, I mean that is crazy. So 300 people, and then like the mix of people that are coming. Yeah, who are you hoping shows up?
A lot of agents, because they get a lot of deals.
So realtors. Okay.
Wholesalers, contractors. You know, any real estate professional, lenders. You know, so just really want to just.
Buyers?
So our distribution list, we have 2,500 buyers. So we'll send it out to them, inviting all of them. Yeah. You know,
and this is very much an abundance mindset deal.
Yeah.
Right. Like, we never got to 300. I think the highest we ever got was like 140. Like, I was doing monthly events until COVID. Yeah. And I just too lazy just to restart them. But we had like, I want to say like 140 was the biggest we ever got.
Okay.
And yeah, we had wholesalers, buyers, not so many lenders. The lenders sponsored the events.
Oh yeah, we get sponsors. That's how we're able to put all that money together.
Yeah, so we had lenders. Batch. This is before Batch blew up.
Yeah,
right. Batch was sponsoring our events. Yeah. So yeah,
Well, this is like the wholesale capital of the United States. Yeah. So yeah, you got the best. You got the best vendors for wholesale.
Yeah, so. Definitely. This is the guru capital. It all starts here. Like. If it doesn't start here, it's not even a real company, right? Like it has to start.
Yeah, exactly.
Or they move here.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
So you got vendors sponsoring the events as well.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So you think that the meetup model kind of being the authority in your market, that accounts for majority of your relationship business?
I think it helps for sure. Yeah. You know, they know that we're the real deal. You know, I've seen other people try this model in our market, and like they're like handing out drink tickets. Like you get one drink, and like you kind of feel like it's not, the venue's not as nice. So I could think like if you come to one of our events, like there's no way these guys aren't doing deals. Like you just can't throw something that big and nice and professional and planned out that well. Like the way we represent ourselves at those events is the way we conduct business, and I want people to know that like we're the real deal and we're serious.
Yeah,
and yeah, that trickles down through the whole organization too. So if people want to hire or people want to come work for us, we want to hire them. Like this is how we run our business. And we're very, very predictable and structured, and it's a place you want to be.
And it seems like you've doubled your business every year.
Yeah,
or just about.
Just about, yeah.
Which is kind of insane, right? Because like you can double your business 1 year, right? That happens. It's not that uncommon. Second year, okay, like you're getting pretty lucky here. You've got massive jump after massive jump after massive jump.
Yeah.
What do you attribute that to?
So
today's podcast is brought to you by motivatedleads.com. With them, you can get $300 worth of quality local leads sent exclusively to your inbox by just mentioning my name. I've used them, and they're one of the best producers of solid seller leads on a local level. And they fully guarantee the leads that they send you. To get your $300 free credit, just head over to motivatedleads.com, hit the claim your area button, and let them know that I sent you.
So definitely people, right? And we made a couple small shifts that made huge impacts this year. So one of the things we needed to get our average deal size bigger. So I think we went from like $20,000 a deal to $30,000 a deal now in profit.
Yeah.
And a lot of that was controlling the clock. So how do you control the clock? So when we get a deal under contract, we're always rushing to wholesale it. A lot of times we can't get reasonable access. You know, we get one shot at this. So we have to take the highest offer. You know, 90% of people didn't even get a chance to even see this thing. So now last year we did a great job at raising a lot of money. And now we have a lot of capital, like almost, you know, more than we need to buy every deal we want. So when we buy it, we get the lockbox on the door, and we're able to then, you know, get every investor, get it on the MLS, best and final. And you'd be surprised to see those one-off buyers coming out of nowhere paying 20, 30 grand more than you thought was your best buyer. Your best buyer won't touch this at 200, and I got guys at 250 now.
Right.
So like little things like that make a huge impact. So raising a lot of capital, was definitely attributed to doubling our business. We've gotten really dialed into sales. So our sales team right now is clicking on all cylinders. A lot of accountability. Their output is pretty much doubled from last year. And our marketing too. Well, surprisingly, our marketing hasn't really changed. I mean, we dialed up our direct mail a little bit, but we didn't double our staff. We didn't spend all this money to scale. We just focused on what we had and made a couple small tweaks. And also too, our construction team, we got really good. And that mostly Jesse. So Jesse's really raised the bar and the standard for our designs. Like he does a great job. Make sure we don't cut corners and that our budgets stay pretty on point.
The hard nose, no empathy, Jesse.
Exactly.
Is also handling construction now.
Yeah. And when you get guys like Jesse to manage people that are okay, like they become great now. As long as they're willing to be coached, they go from good to great because you're willing to listen and be coached, Well,
it's kind of like if you weren't an A player and Michael Jordan, you were on Michael Jordan's team.
Yeah.
You just weren't going to last.
Yeah. So you got to elevate your performance.
Yeah. Get up or get out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it sounds like the biggest thing was reducing the cash conversion cycle.
For sure.
Sounds like that was the biggest one, was just getting money in and out faster, or getting deals in and out faster.
Yes. And the deals that we couldn't sell because we didn't have reasonable access is no longer a thing. So we're picking up more deals.
So you're closing more.
We're closing more. Our sales team's making more. They're more motivated. They're getting more deals. And the confidence of our closers go up because they know we're actually buying these deals. We're not giving you this lousy wholesale contract. We're giving you a legit contract that you can't assign.
Right.
Our competition is not giving you that.
Right.
We're going to close this in 2 weeks. Here's our proof of funds. We're going to close it, And guess what? We get a lot of referrals from those sellers.
Yeah. That's huge.
A lot of referrals, yeah.
So when you're saying like you can put a lockbox and you can get as many people in there, is because you now own the property?
We own the property, yep.
Right. So you buy it, people move out, and then you now have access. Now you can do the highest and best.
The highest and best, or turn it from an investor special to a retail deal with 10 grand and 1 week of work,
Yeah. And that all goes back to having that construction experience as well.
Construction. And all, so we have now it all into a CRM, and the speed, the communication, the accountability for the construction is so automated now. And like, I don't have to call my GC no more. I just go on monday.com and just like communicate like, hey, what's up with this? Or he'll put all the stuff in before I even have to ask him. But we've dialed in through like our CRM.
Do we need to get Jesse in here and talk about how to manage contractors?
Pretty much. You should have him do one of your trainings.
Yeah. Because man, the reason why I never got into flipping is like, I already have enough managing salespeople. Like I don't want to manage contractors too.
No.
Right. That's just another set of headaches.
I don't enjoy that part.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate the construction part. I'd rather wholesale everything.
Yeah.
But he's challenged me. He actually sat down with me one day. He's like, this is the part of the business that gives me energy.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, okay, well, listen, I'll respect it. So we got to fill that cup for you. And he's doing a great job.
So you listen to him.
I do listen to him.
That's not an easy thing to do.
No, it's not.
So how have you leveled up your leadership?
Really just, for me, it's more being more of a coach. I don't like to come down on people, but, and also me making mistakes. Like I got to tell people, hey, I'm wrong, and challenge me. And as long as they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, I'm okay with anyone challenging me.
Yeah.
You have to earn the right though to challenge a leader, and I think. So
it was his track record that made it easier for him to challenge you.
For him. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he definitely, we have a good relationship of trust. And he knows we both have the right intentions for the business,
Right.
And he's compensated well. There's no lie, like there's no hiding that. He makes the money and he deserves it,
Yeah.
So that's important.
And then we mentioned earlier, you joined CG in 22.
End of 2021.
End of 21.
Yeah.
Okay. What did that do for you? I mean, we kind of touched on it a little bit, but specifically, what did that do for you?
I think the mindset for Jesse was big. I knew guys like Eric Brewer and yourself, I met a lot more people throughout that time, but for Jesse, just seeing other COOs and other businesses and them getting to $3, $6, $10 million, and then seeing the big dogs like Phil Green and Doug Hopkins, Eric Brewer, like why not us? Like, come on, we gotta get there. So I think that's what helped. And then now we're bringing our marketing guy Jan with us, and we just brought him to California. And you would think like he was so fired up coming home, and like all his lists, and he just really tightened up what he was doing. He's elevated. So just being around that group is contagious. You know?
Yeah. Well, I think the thing you just mentioned here, right? Like your COO got to come and talk to other COOs. And there's not a lot of masterminds where you can do that.
No.
Right?
I don't think there's any. Well, I guess there are, but
I don't know which ones.
not at this level.
Not a lot.
Not at this level, yeah.
Yeah, not at this level.
Yeah.
So the other thing too is you're a pain in the butt at CG when we're not on the same team on the basketball court. So you don't practice, but you still don't miss. What is the story with that?
Oh man, it's like riding a bike, man. Like to talk about 10,000 hours you put in. I put in my 10,000 hours in basketball. So
yeah,
I guess it's like the confidence, just seeing the ball go in a lot, and the instincts don't leave. My body won't, slowing down a little bit. But if I played if I played for 2 weeks, I'd be back.
Yeah, I think it's you and Caleb are the two that we always got to watch out for. But
remember like that one week you hit like 11 threes that one day or something crazy.
Yeah,
we were on the same team though.
Yeah,
right?
we were on the same team.
Yeah, I was passing the ball. Yeah,
no, that was fantastic.
I was getting doubled and you were making every shot.
Yeah, I mean, I love that, right? Like you got people coming rotating to you. I'm wide open. That's my favorite. Like, the thing I've always said is like I'm not great on the court, but you leave me open, like you're gonna pay the price.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the one. And fouling, I bring that as well. This year's also been tough for you.
Yeah.
So we talked about like a lot of stuff we talked about here. There's a lot of glory here, a lot of big wins, right? A lot of people aspire to have what you have to get to where you've been, but you've also paid additional prices.
Yes.
So for that. So we can look at all the glory. It's like, man, that's great. He has it easy. He's got it figured out. Let's talk about the things that suck to get there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for my personal life, I have 2 kids. I have a 1-year-old, a 3-year-old. Actually, I have one on the way. So a lot of pressure at home. I mean, everything's good at home. Love my wife. Love my kids. But dealing with all of that responsibility and work, trying to keep an eye on things is hard. So we hired a sales manager this year. He was a rock star. He was a perfect fit. But some things happened where it was unethical. I don't want to say it, throw him under the bus, but we had to let him go. Like he crossed the line. Absolute rock star. He could have changed our business again. So making those tough decisions.
Violation of core values.
100%. Yep. And then I had one of my best friends. We hired him like 2 years ago. Started getting disruptive. I'd let him go. That was a hard thing. He has a family. We're best friends. He was making really good money with me. Once you cross the line, though, business is business. We have to cut ties. So, in that same month, had to suspend one of our best employees for getting out of line. All while like going down a closer with all these leads, like that was hard. So I had to go out there and perform a little bit myself. Yeah. And it was
you said suspend or let go?
I suspended one person, let go of one of our top closers, salespeople, and then let go of our sales manager within like 30 days. It was tough.
Yeah. So what were the internal discussions? Like, were these tough decisions or like, yeah, obviously we have to do this?
So for the sales rep, that was a ongoing issue that we just had to draw the line. We had to let him go no matter what. I would have started losing people in my organization. So that was an easy decision.
So not a culture fit.
No. The sales manager guy.
But he was a closer.
He was a closer.
Was he the top closer?
No.
Okay.
He wasn't the top closer.
How much money did he bring in for 24?
Probably $2 million.
They brought in $2 million in revenue to the company.
Yep.
Right. And you guys had a company meeting. It wasn't a tough decision. You're like, it's a no-brainer. We got to let him go.
Yeah. It wasn't the first time we had this conversation.
Yeah. When I bring this up, because for everyone that's listening, again, like, it's hard to let go of a performing person.
Yeah. Anybody would make money with this guy. Literally. Like he's a ROI, walking ROI. You just got to get him leads. But you got, core values. Like if I want to get to 10 million next year, you can't have a guy like that in your company.
Yeah.
So that's the decision we made.
Right. Okay. So a bit toxic, a bit of a cancer to the company.
But a high performer.
And unfortunately, I think sometimes we see that kind of go hand in hand. Sometimes where they're like, this guy's a rock star. Also, he's kind of hitting on the secretary, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we can't have this happen.
Yep, 100%.
Right? Like, and he's married, right? It's like, no, we can't have this happen, right? Your best friend, like, what were the considerations that you had to have in having that conversation?
Well, it wasn't the first time I talked to him. So I think when I did it the last time, it was, he understood.
Mhm.
It was tough.
It wasn't a surprise for him.
It wasn't a surprise.
Well, that's good.
And I actually got him another job with a competitor.
Yeah.
So like I made right by him, I think. And it was tough because, again, he's probably taking a bunch of leads with him. And that's always in the back of my mind. Like, he's going to end up closing deals that we should have had. But you got to live with it. I think getting him out of our organization was a breath of fresh air for him, probably. He gets a new opportunity. He's going to make money. And then we get a new seat, a new challenge for us. And I'll talk about it, but we've brought in someone new. But I'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the sales manager, it was just ethics.
It was just complete ethics.
And can you elaborate on that?
It was a lead. Basically went to one of our lead managers and brought up the idea of like them doing a couple deals through our CRM. No one would know. We use this title company. It was very detailed. And I was like, well.
So he was trying to manipulate the
If
system.
it was a lead manager and not the sales manager, I probably would have like maybe forgave him, but it was the sales manager. Like our whole team has to answer to you. We can't, like, I just couldn't keep it,
So he was trying to get paid outside.
A couple deals a month for extra income. I'm like, come on, man. Like, you're going to make way more than all that. Like,
It's crazy.
Yeah. And this is a 6-figure salary guy that I'm, he's only been there for what, 4 months. He made a good impact for our business.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it when I heard this.
We had Oliver Seidler. He was on this show. I want to say 2019, I think, maybe around there. I remember we were having lunch before the show.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how he had to let his COO go. Right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what happened? He's like, he was stealing my Amex points. I was like, it's like I was paying him $180,000 a year.
I think Jesse's stealing my Amex points.
Right?
Yeah.
But he was paying like $180,000 a year base.
Yeah.
Plus bonus. And the guy was like stealing the Amex points. And he let him go. And it's like, what? Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Of all the things to steal.
I know.
Right? But like here, like this guy was making good money.
Yep.
And how much money was he going to make if he stayed with you guys?
Oh, he would have, yeah. There's people in I hate to say this because people from my company are going to listen to this, but there's people that make over $500,000 in our company a year. Like literally. So like you could potentially be someone that makes, life-changing money.
Right.
Like just stick it out and buy in and, it depends on your position, but yeah, you could, I don't know.
Don't
you
do
never
stupid
win.
stuff.
Now he's by himself. It's like terrible.
Yeah. Okay. But we also have good news.
Good news. Yeah.
You brought someone in.
Yeah. So I think one of my superpowers at this point is I can bring in serious talent. I think a lot of it is because of my influence. I have a lot of experience now in this business. People trust me. I know how to maximize people's skills, and people get paid with me.
Yeah.
And I was able to bring over someone that had their own company. Really, he was doing well, and I brought him in as just a sales closer. So it was a very hard sell, for his ego.
He had to change his identity.
Had to change his identity.
Yeah.
But he also has the peace of mind to get paid and not have to bring this home with him as much and have normal schedule. And the first 30 days, he got 20 contracts for us.
Dang.
So yeah, I gave him a massive signing bonus to come over. I paid him well, and he's already made all that back. And I'm like, I just had a feeling that this guy was going to be a rock star. But I think the moral of the story is don't be cheap with people. If you really feel like this person's a good fit, just give them what they want. They're going to make you money.
Yeah.
Obviously, you need the machine and the leads. So that's a whole nother conversation. But if you have the machine, the leads, and you have a talent, like take care of them,
How did you know he was going to work out your company? Because the $75K signing bonus is not common in this industry.
No.
Right? I've only heard one crazy high bonus.
Yeah.
Up until this conversation. How did you know?
So the big signing bonus was because my back was against the wall. I needed a closer. I just fired my second closer. So one, I needed him. So at any cost, I was going to get him. And I know him. Like we hang out. Our families hang out. And he's done a lot of real estate deals. He's very well spoken. So it was a no-brainer to me.
Yeah.
I remember sitting at the restaurant with him at 9:00 at night. I literally just let go of my friend. I was like, what do you want to come over? I was like, just give me the number. Whatever you need, I'm going to make it happen. So he wrote it down. I didn't even argue with him. I said, it's done. You'll have this tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So we went ahead and paid off. Like so instead of giving him the cash, we paid off his student loans, and that was it. You know?
Yeah. Was it a hard sell for him?
No. I think it was a no-brainer.
Okay.
And it's going to be the best decision I think he's ever made. He's going to make way more money now.
Yeah. And I'm asking this because I'm actually coaching someone else who's trying to do the same thing. He's trying to recruit a friend who has his whole own business.
Yeah.
Where he can look at it as like, dude, you'll make so much more money working here.
Yeah.
Versus you doing your own thing, working crazy hours.
Yep.
Right. Like you're not, for better or for worse, like you're not making it. Come over here and make the kind of money you want to make without the headaches. Right. So he's trying to make this happen.
Yeah. I mean,
but the other guy has his ego that he's having a hard time letting go of.
He's going to have to meet him at some point, like halfway. You can't force someone to come over.
No, it's not forcing.
Because like part of this is like you got to let go of your company. Like there's no more, like you are Hall of Fame Real Estate's our company. Like that is what you are now. So like right away he changed his profile on Facebook. His background's Hall of Fame Real Estate. Like he's all in, Yeah. But that comes at a cost. But he's a performer. He's a top performer, So it was worth every dime.
And then you were saying, so we talked about that about overpaying. So are there other instances where you find yourself overpaying where it's paying off?
I think if you look at you could argue that every position in my company is I'm overpaying them. To tell you the truth. I mean, if you talk to other companies in our market, no one's making nearly as much. Their sales reps, their comp plan is not like ours. Our down to our TC, our dispositions, lead managers, one of them is making $250 a year. Like that's big money. That's the guy that sits on the phone all day.
Lead manager $250 is
silly.
It's nuts. I'm not hearing anyone else making $250 as a lead manager.
No, but all of that formulas we put together, it's very well thought out. We're still at a 35% net profit margin. That's where I want to be, and that's where I need to be. I've adjusted our comp plan many times to make sure that we stay healthy as a company. That's the most important thing. So I'm not recklessly paying people. Like it's very, very strategic the way we do this.
Yeah.
But it's top talent we're getting because of this.
It makes total sense. And then you started a brokerage. Am I reading this correctly?
Yeah. So I have my first hire ever. His name's Mike Coffey. He was like his master's in accounting. When I had like 40 doors, he came in. I'm like, you're going to manage all my properties for me. I don't feel like dealing with it anymore. I'm going to go buy them, fix them up. You take them over. So he got his real estate license around that time. And I said, one day we're going to get your brokerage license. So, and we're going to, put you under our Hall of Fame family. So he's opened up the brokerage. January 1st was like our launch date. And from that day, we strategically picked out I would say the top 5 agents in the market. Again, it's like recruiting. I feel like John Calipari in my market. I'm trying to persuade people. I'm giving them money. Like, come on.
But John lets you stay for 1 year. You don't have to stay for 1 year.
Yeah, they're not one and done. So we got all these top agents. We have 10 now. And the way we're capitalizing on this is through private money. So when I talk about we control the clock, we doubled our business this year. It wasn't, I think the brokerage had a little bit to do with this as well, because these agents have money. They're funding our deals and they're getting the listing back. So it's a no-brainer. It's like, all right, we'll give you. So I pay them 12% on their money annually. It's like whatever, 1 point a month. And then I'll give them 2% on the listing. And they're not going to get this listing anyway. And they control the sale. So they know where their money's at.
Right.
And they're underwriting the deal. They know, we're buying these deals so damn cheap. They literally want to give us as much money as possible, all these agents. I mostly have to turn it down. So that's where the brokerage has become super beneficial for us. On top of that, the branding. It's we're going to do $70, $80 million in revenue from the brokerage in sales. That has nothing to do with my investment space.
Right.
And every post on Facebook is HOF, Hall of Fame. And it's just, again, influence, local celebrity status. Who's behind the scenes? Oh, that's them. That's those guys. Another recruiting tool.
So you got the top performing realtors in your market.
We literally, I think we have the number 1 realtor in our market. Today's his birthday too. I told him I'll give him a shout out. His name's Francesco Puella. He's a beast. He's gonna do $40 million in sales this year.
Yeah.
He's an absolute killer. But I had to recruit him to come over, and when you get one guy like that, the domino falls.
Oh, for sure.
Everybody wants to come down.
Everyone wants to follow them.
I literally turn down all these agents now. It's we have a line of people that want to come. But That's not our core business. It's like
Right.
we're making money on it, but it's not like I'll just put it back into the brokerage somehow.
Yeah.
For marketing.
So you said something funny though. They get paid interest plus they get motivated to sell the deals too. And so everyone's like trying to throw money at you.
Yes. Yep.
Most people don't picture realtors in money. I brought this before in a coaching call. It's like, don't forget, like, realtors have money too.
Yeah.
The average one doesn't.
Yep.
But like, I've talked about raising money from realtors, loan officers.
Realtors are number one capital raise by far.
Yeah.
By far.
So like, don't sleep on that, guys.
No.
Like, realtors have money, and they understand the business. They might not all like the business, but they understand.
Yeah. We've recruited agents because of that pitch. We will let you fund our deals and we will give you the listing back. People have come over to our brokerage because of that,
Yeah.
And I'll ask them like, well, we'll figure out their financial background without like digging into it too hard. But they usually, their husband has money. They own a business.
Yeah.
So we kind of understand like where they're coming from. But we're strategically picking the agents and get them in the door.
Selective.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's all under Hall of Fame brokerage.
HOF Realty, we call it.
HOF Realty. You
And
don't go with all Hall of Fame?
No, there could be a little conflict of interest there.
I see.
Yeah, so we're trying to, people know it's us, but it's disconnected somehow.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then, just the other point here, you've raised a lot of private money.
Mm-hmm.
So beyond the realtors, where else are you finding private money?
Anywhere. Just like family, friends, Jesse's family, friends he has, anyone really. I mean, I don't know if it's legal to raise it on social media, but when you're posting your deals, like people see the quality of work, how fast you're selling them, what prices you get, that's your resume. So like anyone that I know, like, hey, you're looking to invest. I always bring it up. Like, what are you doing? Like, oh, I'm looking to flip a house. Well, would you rather just invest? It's safer, and we get people that way too.
Yeah.
There's only so much money we need. I also have money. I fund my own deals. So I try not to let it get out of control because, again, that's another process of managing personalities. They want updates. Things could go wrong potentially, which knock on wood, nothing has. But it's just another risk that maybe we don't want to take on. But, if we want to put our foot on the gas, I could raise another $10 million or whatever.
Yeah.
I wanted to.
What would you even do with that?
Buy more deals.
Buy more deals?
Yeah, but at this point, I don't know if there's any more deals out there.
Do you feel like, do you measure what your market share is in your market?
No, I actually asked that question to someone if we could get a list of off-market deals versus what's sold on market. But I don't know I know Aldantic used to do that.
I mean, you can track it. It's just, I don't know any data company that does it.
We probably have such a small market share.
Yeah.
That's why I love the business. I'm like, man, there's so many opportunities. Oh, another thing I did this year, I didn't bring it up. We shrunk down our focus. So we had like 20 counties we were hitting in 2022, 2023. We went down to 9 and we doubled our profit.
Yeah.
So focus. If we can't get there, we're not going. Like we're not marketing there.
Right.
So within 50 minutes of our office, basically. Philadelphia is literally 5 minutes. One of the biggest cities in the country. We don't even touch Philadelphia. We don't want anything to do with it. We want to stay super focused in southern New Jersey in our counties. So like we're committed to being local, being the fastest, paying the best price and dominating that local market.
That's really hard.
It's hard. It's hard.
Was that something that you thought about for some time? Something that got beat into you?
Just hearing a lot of stories in CG and just like other mentors of like going into different markets. And I've done it too. And like, it's easier actually to get deals. Like we were in Pittsburgh hard for a couple of years. I'm like, man, it's like you could talk to anybody. They'll answer their phone. They're cool with selling their house.
Yeah.
But the spreads were so low. I'm like, let's war, man. Like, let's go to war in our market. Let's win the battle here.
Yeah.
And whatever. Like, that's how I feel. Like we just need to dominate. And it's a hard market. You're talking about the North, we talked about the Northeast earlier. People are just miserable, so you got to just figure it out. And
everyone was just angry.
Yeah. You got to bring extra juice every day in our market.
I remember it was 19. We went to New York for spring break, which is a terrible idea. It was way too cold, but we were in Times Square.
Yeah.
And we walked to one of those, Ray's pizzerias or whatever. Right? I told my wife, like, hey, like, we're in New York. Just know like they were yelling at you.
Yeah.
Right. It's just a New York experience. And I knew that going in. And the guy starts yelling at me and I lose it. Like, why is he yelling at me? Like, why is everyone so damn angry here?
Oh man.
Yeah. I just wasn't ready. Like I was mentally aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I told myself to be ready for it. Still wasn't ready for it.
It's crazy. I rented a car and I pulled out of the airport and I'm like, everyone's driving so nice out here. Mm-hmm. Literally, if this was Philly, people would be swerving into me, like cutting me off, going 100 miles an hour down the street. Like it's nice to drive out here. You know?
Yeah, we're friendly out here, right?
Exactly. Let me in.
The biggest culture shock, I would say the other direction was I remember I went to Mississippi for an event I was speaking at, and like the TSA like actually helped you put your suitcase onto like the carousel.
Oh, really?
I was like, what is going on here?
In Philly?
No, Mississippi.
Oh, Mississippi.
Mississippi, the South. They're really friendly in the South. That's the exact opposite of what I had in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Right. That was 1 year, right? I went to both of those and it was just a culture shock in both directions.
Yeah.
So looking at life today, right? You know, you're so shocked to get a job offer for $40,000
mm-hmm.
and where you are today. You ever pictured where you are today?
No, not at all. Unless I played in the NBA, I wouldn't be like, you're not making this type of money. Yeah. I didn't know the path. I didn't know it was possible.
Yeah.
You know?
So looking back now, like what freedom have you been afforded that, you know, you never expected?
I'm filming this video for the man himself, Mr. Ian Ross. The guy crushes. The guy's the best person in sales I've ever seen. I've invested elsewhere and I haven't got the same results. I've gone from being a seller, making 5K a month, to being a hybrid role, making 11K a month, to now be 4 months down the line from 5K to on a closing opportunity, inbound, full calendar, with the best opportunity, the best offer in my space. OTE is around 20K a month from month 2. So I've gone from 5K to 20K. If that's not a return on your investment, I don't know what is, man. If you're a salesperson and you don't invest in sales training, you're going to get left behind because your job is to be better at sales. And sales training directly makes you more money.
My name is Lance McCann. I've recently switched sessions with Ian Ross. Those conversations with Ian has made me $50,000 in the past 2 deals that I've had. I was able to renegotiate, go back and renegotiate the original purchase price on one deal, and I saved $40,000, and I got another $10,000 off my other deals. Call Ian, give him a chance. You won't regret it.
If you like what you just heard and you'd like to have similar types of results, similar success, text CLOSE, C-L-O-S-E, to 33777, and we'll see if you qualify to join Advanced Sales Mastery. We are taking people from good to great.
So I think the biggest thing that's changed my life is from the time I was born until I would say like that day I got that job offer. Money has always been a stressor for me. I always felt the pressure from my mom, whether we could get food. I can't tell you how many times we got evicted from a house, like lost a car, repoed. So like I was traumatized financially growing up. Like when it was school time, it was hard to get clothes for school. Like I would wear my brother's clothes or my friends. So like I appreciate money a lot more probably than anyone else just because of how hard it was growing up. No, like I didn't get a car. I didn't get anyone to help me financially. So now that like we're making money, it's more of like a comfort. And like I was telling my wife, like we never worry about money. Like that's the last thing on our, if we ever argue, is about money. Yeah. She's like, if whatever you want, I'll take care of it. I'll get it. But and I can go out there and make more if I needed to. Right. The cool thing about what we do is like I don't have to break my stones every day. I literally work from like 9 to 4. You know, I work hard and I work strategic, and the mental stress is a lot, weighs on you. But it's still a 9 to 4 schedule. You know, my team picks up the weight, the weight for me too, and you know, it's a group effort. But yeah, financially, it's been a game changer. Freedom wise, like I could do whatever I want, man. Like you know, I just bought a beach house, and live in a nice house now. But it's just it just gives you nice things. But
where's the beach house?
Ocean City,
New
Jersey. Yeah. So
gotcha.
Beautiful.
What is your epic life goal?
I don't know, man. I always think about this. So I try to stay in the moment. You know, like I enjoy what I do. I think it's because I'm competitive. I think that I enjoy making money, to tell you the truth. And I do enjoy helping people. I love seeing people's lives change. I've seen it probably like 6 times, 7 times already in our company where like legit people have like just taken a turn for the better, where they were stuck in their careers. So I enjoy that part of it. I enjoy You know, our name's company's Hall of Fame. Like,
Yeah.
the reason we named the Hall of Fame because I was inducted into my college Hall of Fame.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it like kind of stuck with me in 2017. I was like, I called it like Hall of Fame Property Management, and then it became Hall of Fame Real Estate, Hall of Fame Home Buyers. So that brand's like stuck with us. But the point of that is like we want to be in the Hall of Fame. We want to leave a legacy. Like, what does it take to get in the Hall of Fame? You got to be the best. Period. What does that take? You got to work your ass off. You got to do something that no one has ever done. And that's kind of like what that drives me is like, I want to do something that no one has ever done in our market, especially because real estate right now is our vehicle. And I feel like we're hitting plateaus that no one has ever hit. Like when I got into this and started learning, I remember people were like, our market, you can only do like $1 million in our market. Like there's no one could do more than that. Then we did 3. I'm like, well, who, like, can anyone tell me what else? Now we're doing 6. Like, and now we shrunk down our metro, and like now we're doing less counties and we're doing more. So like,
Right.
there's no ceiling, you know, there's no one else to tell us what we can do now because no one's hitting these numbers. So
You mentioned competitive. So Leon Barnes and I were wondering, one of these CG events, you brought in one of your acquisition guys
yeah.
who was outrageously athletic. Is he still with you?
He was a disposition guy. No, he's not with us anymore.
It's like,
But we were recruiting for basketball at that time in our career. I was like, I'm bringing these guys to CG.
I was like, yeah, I mean, Santini's Fred. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like, is he really on Santini's team, or is he bringing him?
He played college basketball with me.
We weren't questioning his athleticism. We were questioning whether he was actually on your real estate team.
Oh, yeah. That's so funny.
Man, that Santini guy's competitive. What is your biggest struggle today?
My biggest struggle, I guess personally, I'm trying to be as good as I am in business as I am as a father, as a husband. And, you know, there's always a push pull and time and a lot of guilt because again, my father wasn't around growing up. So like, I want to make sure that I'm the opposite. I want to be present. I want to be impactful. I want to teach them how to be adults and be good people. So I just hope that, you know, I can do that and also give them the time they deserve. So that's always my biggest struggle. But other than that, I'm blessed, man. Like I got a great team. Like I don't have much to complain about. You know, I'm healthy. I mean, what the heck, you know?
Yeah. What are you doing to make sure you're, you know, as good as business as you are at home?
I think it's just being mindful that you come home and just pay attention to your kids. You know, be as helpful as I can with my wife. You know, just be a good example, not try to lose my temper. You know, I'm pretty good. I don't ever get mad, but I get frustrated. I do get frustrated, and you know, it's distracting, but working on all that. And as they get older and I get more, I guess, used to the style of life, it's just, you know, it's chaotic when you have kids.
These are the fun years, man. Because you said the oldest was 4?
3.
3.
Yeah.
Hey, these are the fun years.
By the way, 3 is worse than 2. Like terrible 2s doesn't exist to me. It's the 3-year-olds that are.
Oh, it's way worse.
It's hard.
No one talks about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it gets worse.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say, like, for me, you know, like they're your babies until kindergarten.
Yeah.
And then at that point, they're not your babies anymore, right? Like their friends know things that apparently you don't know,
Yep.
right? The teachers are an authority figure in their lives now. So like savor that.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Because I got 3 and none of them are, and they're all past that point. How do you measure your success?
I think obviously you can use your KPIs, your deal flow, your profit margin. I think for business, it's going to be net profit, and also making sure that your staff is hitting their goals. You know, it's always good to know that, like, I would say 90% of our team has hit their financial goals. So I think for business, we definitely have, and I've hit my goals too.
Yeah.
Like our goal was $4 million in profit this year, so we've exceeded that. Like, yeah, I would say we've over exceeded it for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What is your superpower?
I think relationships. You know, whether it's recruiting, hiring, strategic relationship within my market, whether it's a house flipper, mortgage lender.
Yeah,
I've always seemed to max out our relationships, and the key to that is just give as much as you can to them, and then they're going to reciprocate. So that's it, man. Like I'm always looking for me. And I think that those relationships have taken us to the next level.
Oh man,
really.
that kind of goes back, right? You kind of like a bit of the authority in your market, doing the meetups, people were sending you deals, and that makes total sense.
Yeah.
What is your biggest regret?
Biggest regret. So my brother and I, the best friend, one of my, like a fatherly figure when I got older, we went into business together early on. And when the pandemic hit, he went into like, different ventures within real estate, like construction. And we had, I think there was a lawsuit with a partner and I got drug into it. And, I guess it was hard times for both of us. And we ended up saying some nasty things to each other. Again, this is my best friend, someone I talk to every day. And it changed our relationship from that point on. Like we didn't talk for almost 2 years. And, within the last year, we now talk again, but it's like slowly getting back.
Yeah.
But I kind of wish that we set more boundaries early on. And that didn't happen because he had kids throughout that time. I didn't get to see him grow up as much, hopefully I get back to that point. But that was probably my biggest regret so far is just not being there during that time. Instead of us leaning on each other, it became enemies, and we just didn't want to talk to each other. That was definitely the biggest regret.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's absolutely key, right? The boundaries component, right? I think for everyone listening, like it makes sense to be partners. It makes sense to do this together, right? It's blood.
Yeah. You would think, right?
Right.
But it was a bad combination, I think.
Yeah.
And now he does real estate. His wife actually does coaching too. She has a big clientele. She's in the Spanish community, but he's successful. He's the hardest worker I've ever met. Probably he's unbelievable. But it's like two chefs in the kitchen. You got it didn't work out.
Well, one of the lines I heard from Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher, right? He said this, like, it's true. Is that just because I would die for you doesn't mean we should be in business together.
Right.
And it's like, that makes sense later.
I know. And anytime I do business now with people, I'm like, listen, no more handshakes. Like this is going on paper and we're going to write down expectations, contracts, whatever, because I could tell them the story about my brother and I. Like, it doesn't matter if you're blood. Like, things can go wrong.
Right.
He's not wrong. I'm not wrong. We just had different perspectives. We didn't agree.
Different understandings.
100%. And I'm not mad at him. He's not mad at me anymore. But those things happen. Disagreements happen. And you got to be clear. Partnerships are the hardest thing. I don't have any partners other than the portfolio, but like I don't like having partners in my business,
Yeah.
Just me, and I want to have the final say. That's it.
I'm like you, right? I've always been a handshake guy, right? And what I learned is that it burned me over and over again. Because, and it wasn't like anyone was a liar. It's just what we shook hands on, what I believe to be true, and what you believe to be true were not the same thing.
Yep.
So when things went sideways, your memory, I can say for sure, was unreliable. Because I know my memory is on point, right?
Yeah.
But whenever there's a disagreement, they always remember it in their favor. So like for me, like I'm a handshake guy, but we have to put things in writing. Really, these days is to protect me.
Yeah.
It's not even like anything else.
Yep.
And it's sad, but
yeah,
it's the world we live in.
I agree. And now that we have so much going on, like there can't be any more loose ends.
No.
It could cost us big if there's loose ends.
Well, today, too much to lose today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which failure did you learn the most from?
That's probably it right there. Just not communicating well. Me not speaking up fast enough. I just felt like.
And you're also a little brother.
I was a little brother, yeah. So
it's
hard.
I can say it's funny. Like I have 4 cousins that are older than me, right? But we're all within 4 years. So like growing up, because we were a really close family, right? Like we're all within like a half mile of each other. And so it's 3 different families, but I was always the baby in the group.
Yeah.
Right. And it's funny, like 10, 15 years ago, like they still look at me as the baby in the group. I'm like, what is going on here? Like I'm physically bigger than all you guys. Right. Like there's a lot of other things like this doesn't make any sense, but it's this weird thing that you're always the little one.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing there's probably a little bit of that.
It probably, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
What book have you gifted more than any other?
What's that book that was, I don't really gift that many books, but the real estate investor, the financial guy, what's his name? It was in CJ. I wrote that book. the spinoff. I gave that book out. Like
Oh, David Richter's?
Yeah, David Richter's book.
Yeah, Profit First for Real Estate.
Profit First. Yeah, I was giving them out to a lot of our sales team because
Yeah.
you know they're 1099 guys, so I was giving it out to a couple of them, and yeah, hoping to like helping them set up their structure and stuff. So
Yeah, that's cool. You're making massive impacts.
yeah,
So think about last thoughts you want to leave all the listeners with. Guys, hopefully you guys got incredible value. I know I did. So please hit that subscribe button. Share this with your friends, with your colleagues, maybe even with your competitors. Who knows, right? But we want to hit as many people as possible so that we can all rise together. What are some last thoughts you want to leave all the listeners with?
So anyone that's running an operation where you have staff and you're running marketing, don't sleep on those relationships in your market. Figure out a plan to monetize. Become that local celebrity. And you're going to bring in, you know, probably a couple $1 million a year in extra and the referrals and continued business. So anybody out there listening, don't sleep on referrals and have a plan. Social media, make sure that your brand is geared towards your market on getting deal flow, and then try to do the local meetups. I think those are two impactful things that anybody could do. Not in South Jersey because we already have it on lockdown, but you know, everywhere else.
Anywhere else. Yeah. All right, perfect. Someone wants to reach out and connect with you. What's the best way?
Instagram, probably Santini Lancioni. Just shoot me a DM. You know, I'd love to help you guys out any way I can.
Simple. Just got your name.
That's it. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you having me.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Awesome, dude.
Is that good?
Great.
Yeah. All right.
Shout out to Steve Trang. Jump on the Steve Trang. Disruptors.